I know for me that I was going through a pretty rough part of my life as far as where my identity lied. I've always been a very spiritual person, and for the longest time, I was finding my identity in acting. And because of that, anything that you find your identity in that's outside of yourself, it's gonna let you down. It's gonna always let you down. Because again, I've been through a really rough period when I moved down here. In Kansas City, I was doing pretty good. I mean, I wasn't like the top guy in Kansas City or nothing like that when it came to like the acting scene. But I was working pretty consistently for the most part. Got down here to Atlanta, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, things are gonna go pretty smoothly or smoothish, because it's like here I was doing pretty good, and I knew in the back of my head that it's gonna be hard. When you go there, prepare yourself to be there for 5, maybe even 10 years before you even really start doing any work or booking any work. And because I had found my identity in acting and I was decent enough in it to where I was getting, pats on the back for it, it made me think that, okay, that may not fully apply for me when I get to Atlanta or LA or wherever I was gonna go. I'm just thinking, okay, I know it's gonna take time, I'm gonna have to put in work. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, it ain't gonna take that long, because I was told this here, I was told that here, this review, that review, X, Y, Z. Got here, and it was like, it was a hard right. It was a hard right. And because of that, fast forward a little bit, we're approaching probably the last maybe 6 months or so. I'm sitting there like, I finally got to a point after doing acting. I've been doing it since 2011. So 15, 16, yes, I'm counting on my fingers, 17, 18, 19, coming up on 8 years. Oh, let me do that again. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, coming up on 8 years. Coming up on 8 years of doing this, I didn't think I was going to get to that point ever, really, where I got to the point where I was, brought through the ringer so much and got brought down and beat down and dragged down so much and so hard that I was really thinking about quitting, like real talk. And I thought I would never have that thought, that I would never say that it would never come up in me, but that's what happened. I sure did. I was just like, yo, I don't know if this acting stuff is for me, man. And because of that, the reason I got to that point and it put me down a real dark path that I had to fight to get through is because I found my identity in it. And that was the problem. You cannot find your identity in what you do. Anything outside of you, that can't be your identity, because it's gonna always let you down, because it's human, it's man-made, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna do that. So you really have to do some deep digging and some deep soul searching, whether you're a spiritual person or not. But you gotta find that, because then once you do that, that's when you can start to be your best you and your best self, which in turn will, you will, put that energy out there in the world. The best thing that I can tell you to do is whatever it is, whatever you're passionate. I'm not saying don't go after what you're passionate about, but just don't wrap yourself up and find your identity in that, because it ain't good. Life goes on after this. You know what I'm saying? After this audition, after you get off of work, after whatever, you gotta prioritize life as such. So after I leave an audition, I'm done. I'm not about to obsess over it. I'm not about to, it is what it is. My life is still gonna happen. That show is still gonna get done. Somebody's gonna get cast, whether it's me or not. It is what it is. The way I look at it is, if I'm not working on a production or something, either A, I'm gonna be creating my own stuff. I'm gonna be collaborating with people to create my own stuff. Or I'm gonna live life outside of this. I'm gonna go hang out with Anna. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna call my parents. I'm gonna chill with my friends. My life is not wrapped up in this. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say about that one. Is just do not find your identity in things outside of yourself. It's gonna let you down, and it's not going to end well. And sometimes one of the most dangerous things in doing that is things may not look bad. They may look all good and perfect and just, rainbows, sunshine, daisies, and gumdrops. But on the inside, you just deteriorate, because because there's something about it that's eating you up. Because that's the even more crazier thing about it is when you go through stuff like that and you find your identity in different things and it's actually going good and you don't have yourself on lock in here and you don't check in here, that can mess with your head even more because you're just like, yo, everything is the way it's supposed to be, but X, Y, and Z is still happening behind closed doors or inside here. I still feel empty. There's still a big old hole up in here, even though this is looking the way it is. So that's why it's immensely important that you do not find your identity in that stuff. You can be finding your identity in your career. You can be finding your identity in other people. You can be finding your identity in relationships. You can be finding your identity in a lot of different things. You know, so it's real. That's all I can say about it. It's real, and you have to be careful about it. And I believe this is something that's universal. Again, no matter if you're a spiritual person or not, because we are created as people to give off energy and to receive energy. We're designed to go out here and do. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have this on lock. And it's never too late. It's never too late to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But check yourself, get yourself in order, find your identity, soul search to find your identity. Get that on lock. It's a bunch of different things you can find your identity in. And if you're not careful on how this on lock, you'll get swept away.